big?
Heartbreaking.
Emotional damage.
Impactful.
Absolute cinema. Okay, from the movie Kite, we can see Amir and Hassan close relationship. Okay, what do you think of their friendship?
For me, I like the innocence of their friendship because, as we can see, there's no bad or ill intention towards each other.
I see.
Yeah, and you can actually tell it from how Amir interacts with Hassan. You know, even with their difference in status difference, right?
Yeah.
Amir still treats him as a friend and not as a servant.
Let's move on to the next question. What morals from their friendship that you can get?
I believe that people always focus on Ami flying the kite, but honestly, Hassan is the one that keeps him steady. Don't you think so, Tuan?
Yeah, exactly, Wardina. And when Baba was watching them from the side, right? The pressure, it actually it explains a lot on Amir's later choices in life. And I feel like sometimes the most important people actually are the ones guiding you quietly.
So in the movie, there's a scene where something happened to Hassan and Amir just stood there, staying in hiding. Why do you think Amir did nothing when he saw what was happening to his friend?
I'm gonna answer the first question. In an earlier scene where we were introduced to Asif for the first time, we can see like Amir he said nothing, he did nothing as Asif was throwing insults at Hassan, and at the first scene he came off as really intimidating, really violent, and Amir did nothing. So Hassan had to threaten Asif with his slingshot to get him away. So during that alley scene where Hassan was being assaulted and Amir did nothing, that fear, that Amir has towards Asif, I feel like it doesn't really go away even though his friend is being assaulted, because that kind of fear that he has, I feel like it paralyzes him. So it's to me it's understandable.
AUNI, as a viewer, how did you feel watching Amir choose not to step in while Hassan was being hurt?
Okay, when I'm watching the movie, I feel really angry and frustrated at Ami because he did nothing, even though Hassan is being insulted and assaulted there. So, but at the same time, I do feel really sad and depressing for Ami. For Hassan. I'm sorry, for Hassan, because Ami cowardness left a lifelong scar on Hassan's emotional state.
what Amir did was obviously wrong. Framing Hassan is like a betrayal. So at the same time, I feel like you can understand Amir. He is still a child. So seeing Hassan every day reminds him of what he couldn't do. And the guilt, it becomes overwhelming. And instead of facing it, he chooses to run away from it. And that shows how far a kid might go just to stop feeling something that is painful for him.
Okay, so the next question is, what is your opinion on this?
I think it is one of the most emotional and heartbreaking scene in the story because it shows Amir's moral failure, and because he remained silent during Hassan's assault and later pushed himself to frame Hassan for stealing his watch, which shows that he felt guilty for not doing something, but then he didn't know the proper way to show the guilt, and instead he chose to stay away from the problem just to make him feel better, but it didn't end well.
Alright guys, so how do you guys think Amir's migration to America changes his life?
I think it changed Amir's external life, where he graduated from college, he worked at the flea market, and finally he getting married to Soraya. Okay, from this, it shows that his life is finally stabilizing.
For me, emotionally, I believe Amir isn't fully settled in because although America gives him safety and opportunity, but he does not get a proper emotional closure.
I see. Now, we can see that his life has improved a lot, right, ever since he's migrated to America. But why with the lingering guilt?
I think it's because, well, obviously, Amir never gets to confront his past, so it's not properly resolved even after his achievements in book writing and marriage. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's why in the scene where he got a call from Rahim, it actually interrupts his stable life and making he remember his guilt from the past, which actually imply that guilt is not really disappear even after time passes. Okay, it doesn't really free him from the what he carries emotionally.
I see.
Amir's position, what would you feel about the truth revealed, and will you do the same action as Amir did?
I think that if I were in Amir's position, I would feel very guilty and regret whatever I did before, because to learn the truth about the person that I abandoned before was actually someone who loved me unconditionally and is actually my stepbrother, it would just overwhelm me. I would just be completely shattered, and I would do the same as what Amir did, to seek redemption for whatever he did before, because I believe that it is not just about taking revenge, but it is also about taking responsibility for whatever he should have done before. And it just shows the growth of a human, because as we all know, humans make mistakes, and the redemption part is actually, it shows that even if we always make mistake, we don't have to actually live with it throughout our life. We should move past it. So it just shows the growth of Ami as a character.
So the first issue can be child exploitation. The clearest example can be Sohrab, because we can see that he became the victim of war. He was taken from the orphanage and he was exploited by the Taliban officials. And it shows how he as a child was exploited, and it gives him a huge impact, which can be seen from how after Ami saved him, he was traumatized by it, he was scared, and the cycle makes him feel anxious all the time.
Yes, I agree with you on the issue that is child exploitation. And the other example that we can see from the movie is through Hassan's character. So as we all know, Hassan owns the status of a Hazara, which is like not as common as the Afghanistan people, and it is considered a low class status. So although he grows up alongside Ami, he is denied education, equality, and also social protection. Ami actually benefits from Hassan's unwavering loyalty. Hassan runs Kite for him, Hassan defends him, and Hassan is always sacrificing himself for Ami. Yet his loyalty is never reciprocated from Ami, like you can see from how when Asif, and the example for child exploitation is when Asif did something to Hassan. It is not just a sexual violence, but it shows the theme of power, that Asif knew Hassan's status ensured that his suffering would go unpunished. It is like Asif is asserting dominance, and that is the theme, the issue, child exploitation.
Alright, the other major issue that we can see in the Kite Runner is actually ethnic discrimination between the Pashtuns and the Hazaras. And Hassan as a Hazara is constantly treated as inferior, and even though he's loyal and kind, you know.
Yeah, that's true. And what is much more sad is we can see this situation is being normalized. So like when Ami knows that it's wrong, but he still benefit from it, for being a Pashtun. He has that privilege whether he wants it or not. He is a Pashtun and he has it.
Exactly, and you can actually see it clearly how characters like Asif openly insult and abuse Hassan just because of his ethnicity, and what makes it sad is no one really stops it.
Yeah, that's true. That's why at the end of the movie we can see that Amir's silence is actually it hurts because his betrayal to Hassan is not about just a personal, but it's about how society teach them that Hazara matter less.
Thank you guys. Any? And with that concludes our video retelling of the Kite movie.